Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, leaders react to the possible move of the University of Houston Victoria to the Texas A&M system. Victoria ISD parents and leaders come together to discuss goals, improvements, and student success plans. And one local educator is making waves nationally, and she's not done yet.
Well, hot weather keeps getting hotter. Today's tied the record of 91 was our high today. It'll be even warmer tomorrow. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
A huge track invitational happened at Calhoun High School earlier today. I'll give you the final results coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Shauna Curry has the night off. The Port Lavaca police arrest a man for murder. Authorities have responded to multiple 911 calls around 1:50 this afternoon at the Bordeaux apartment complex on North Virginia Street. They found 44-year-old I. Wynn covered in blood inside an apartment and 65-year-old Ty Romano of Arizona dead from multiple stab wounds. Wynn was arrested and booked into the Calhoun County Jail. Authorities do not know what led to the incident at this time. The investigation is ongoing. A Placido man is in jail charged with possession of child pornography. Around 8:30 this morning, Victoria Police, with help from the Victoria County Sheriff's Office and Homeland Security Investigations, executed search warrants at two houses on College Street in Placido. Evidence found during the search led to the arrest of 32-year-old Rusty Red. He is in the Victoria County Jail. No bond is set. One man is dead following a boating-related injury in Calhoun County early this morning. Our partners at the Port Lavaca Wave report the injury involved a group of boaters who traveled to Vanderveer Island on a fishing trip. The man was injured while wading in the shallows near the group's boat and trying to guide the vessel to a channel. The man was transported to the hospital where he was later declared dead. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is investigating. A former Victoria ISD teacher accused of assaulting a special needs student receives probation and a fine. We first reported this story in November 2023. The Victoria County District Attorney's Office said it took into consideration the fact 37-year-old Stephanie Overstreet is no longer in the teaching profession when coming to the agreement. Overstreet is ordered to pay a fine of $283 for each of the two cases. The Texas Education Agency shows Overstreet still has two valid teaching certificates, with the note that Overstreet is under review by the Investigations Division. Tonight, Victoria ISD is calling on the community to help shape the future of education in the district. Through a series of town halls, Victoria ISD hopes to gather input from the community to guide its priorities through the school year. And this brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Did you attend any of the strategic planning town halls? Overwhelmingly, our voters, 95%, say they did not attend any of those town halls. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we thank you for voting. And Victoria ISD is embarking on a bold district-wide strategic planning initiative to ensure all students are equipped for success in an ever-evolving world. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman has the latest. Amaya?
Yes, Dawn, thank you. Tonight, Victoria ISD held a town hall meeting bringing parents and administrators together to discuss ways to improve education for students. The meeting provided insight into the district direction while allowing attendees to share feedback and collaborate in shaping a shared vision for the future of VISD. Superintendent Sheila Collazo led the discussion, highlighting key strategic priorities, including the North Star goal, dual credit courses, and financial planning. She emphasized that the main objective is to ensure every student who graduates from VISD is college ready.
This is about visioning, about setting goals, and about incorporating very strategic actions that are going to move Victoria ISD into higher performance levels for every single student.
She explains the focus is on equipping every student with tools they need to succeed beyond high school. Community members had the opportunity to ask questions and share their perspective on the district initiatives. The discussion covered academic improvement, student resources, and ways to enhance educational outcomes across all grade levels. Superintendent Koyazu also expressed that this initiative is not only about student success, but also about fostering leadership growth within the administration. Dawn, back to you.
Amaya, thank you. Volunteer fire departments across Texas are getting a big boost. The Texas A&M Forest Service awarded approximately $2.1 million in grants during its latest funding meeting, helping rural fire crews get the equipment and training they need to protect their communities. These grants come through the Rural Volunteer Fire Department Assistance Program, which was created by the Texas legislature in 2001 to support volunteer departments that often operate on tight budgets. 7 Crossroads area departments received $25,000 grants, and the Port Lavaca Volunteer Fire Department received $10,000. Local business owners say the possibility of the University of Houston Victoria becoming part of the Texas A&M University system would be a benefit to the area. District 18 State Senator Lois Kolkhorst filed SB 2361 proposing the transfer. If approved, the Texas A&M system would have 12 colleges around the state. If the university is integrated into the Texas A&M system, there could be more course offerings such as medicine, engineering, and land management.
I believe Texas A&M could be a huge economic driver, which we want our universities to be.
While he's excited the bill is filed, it still has to pass the legislature and get approval from the Texas A&M Board of Regents. Former State Representative Jeannie Morrison filed a similar bill in 2011. That bill did not pass. In a statement, Victoria County Judge Ben Zeller expressed his support for moving UHV to the Texas A&M system. Judge Zeller said, quote, "The transfer could bring significant benefits, expanded academic programs, and a more substantial regional presence. The culture and traditions of Texas A&M are a perfect fit in Victoria and our region," end quote. Victoria Mayor Dwayne Crocker is supporting the Senate bill transferring UHV to the Texas A&M University system. In a statement, Mayor Crocker said the move is a forward-thinking transformation that will ensure the long-term success of the university. He said the transition will provide UHV with increased access to the resources and support it needs. Mayor Crocker added the transfer will not only be an investment in higher education, but also a commitment to the future of Victoria. The University of Houston system released a statement this afternoon saying in part, quote, "We recognize that the academic programs offered by the Texas A&M University system, specifically in the areas of agribusiness and agricultural economics, may be better aligned to support the Victoria region's economic growth and local workforce needs," end quote. Time to check on our weather. Let's go to our own Mac Bettis with the first look at the forecast. And Mac, I got to tell you, there's so many things going on the weather and moons tonight and everything like that.
We'll be talking about the lunar eclipse tonight coming up, but you know, it was hot today and it's going to get hotter tomorrow. Look at that. Everybody is under a fire weather watch because of the gusty winds and then the very dry air that's rolling in over the weekend. We'll be talking about that and taking a look at your temperatures as well. We'll have all that coming up in just a moment. Back to you, Don.
Mike, thank you. The founding member of a Texas megachurch is facing 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child. The charges are based on reported incidents that date back to the early 1980s. Cindy Clemishire was 12 years old at the time, and Robert Morris, you see there, was in his early 20s. She says he sexually abused her starting in 1982. In 2014, Morris admitted to inappropriate behavior and said it was limited to kissing and petting. An Oklahoma grand jury investigation resulted in felony charges. Morris resigned from his position at Gateway Church last year. After a deadly stabbing Monday on a school campus, the Killeen ISD is putting in more disciplinary action items for students who cause violence on and off school campuses. 14-year-old Serenity Baker was stabbed to death at a middle school. Killeen ISD officials say any student committing major crimes on or off campus with links to a disruption on campus will be placed in a disciplinary alternative education program ranging from 45 days up to a full school year. A Texas House bill would reduce legal protections for renters and accelerate evictions. Tenants advocates told lawmakers landlord groups say the bill is needed to clamp down on squatters. Curtail laws, they say, can slow evictions. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. A public educator from Victoria is currently top 10 in the nation for America's Best Teacher. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with the teacher to share her exhilarating experience.
Brandy Liston, a local educator in Victoria, is currently ranked top 10 in the nation for America's Best Teacher. The contest started with as many as 100,000 people and with many different groups. The winner of America's Best Teacher contest will receive $25,000 as well as an assembly with science guru Bill Nye in attendance.
It's kind of validating. It makes you feel good that your students and your co-workers are willing to help recognize you.
Liston received the information on how to sign up from a friend. From there, she signed up not knowing she'd make it this far.
It just shows me that our community can come together, and it shows me that the students really do want to see this happen, and it shows me that I'm valued in the school and by my coworkers and students.
She's greatly appreciative of the support and encourages any teacher wanting to pursue that award to do so. Liston emphasizes that she'll put the $25,000 towards her student loans and also further her career in education.
I really want to be able to give this assembly to our students at STEM Middle School, especially since this is something that we are really pushing towards is our STEM education, and Bill Nye is great for that.
The last round of the contest starts May 6th, and the winner will be picked next school year. Ray Mosley, KVU TV, 25 News Now.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. President Trump meets with the NATO chief as questions grow about the alliance's future and U.S. commitment. Also ahead, Columbia University faces a lawsuit from students challenging disciplinary actions, and one graduate now faces deportation. President Trump appears optimistic that Russia will sign on to a ceasefire deal with Ukraine. During an Oval Office meeting with the NATO Secretary General, Trump highlighted recent statements from Vladimir Putin, which Trump said were promising but, in his words, not complete. The president also blamed Democrats for the possibility of a government shutdown and reiterated his goals to expand the U.S. by annexing Canada and Greenland.
But we've been dealing with Denmark, we've been dealing with Greenland, and we have to do it. We really need it for national security. I think that's why NATO might have to get involved in a way, because We really need Greenland for national security. It's very important. You know, we have a couple of bases on Greenland already, and we have quite a few soldiers, and maybe you'll see more and more soldiers go there. I don't know. What do you think about that, Pete? So, don't answer that, Pete. Don't answer that question. But we have bases, and we have quite a few soldiers on Greenland.
President Vladimir Putin said before the Oval Office meeting that Russia was ready for a ceasefire in its war with Ukraine, provided that it offered lasting peace that addressed the root causes of the conflict. Trade wars are still brewing in a global tit for tat. Today, President Trump threatened to put a massive 200% tariff on alcohol from the European Union. Trump said the proposed tariff will go into effect unless the EU rescinds a 50% tariff imposed Wednesday on U.S. spirits.
I'm not going to bend at all.
President Donald Trump resolute. He says he's not bending on steel and aluminum tariffs, but car repair shops say you may have to.
The main concern is seeing what the domino effect is going to be on the overall cost of price of parts.
America's spirit industry also bracing for pain from the retaliatory tariffs. Trump said he could impose a 200% tariff on alcoholic beverages from the European Union after the EU imposed a 50% tariff on U.S. spirits like bourbon. In Canada, several retailers have taken U.S.-made beer, wine, and spirits off their shelves.
This is a dumb trade war. It is utterly absurd. And we don't really understand why you would pick a fight with your best friend who has only ever been a really good partner to you.
U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick met with Ontario Premier Doug Ford and other Canadian officials Thursday evening. Just last week, Ford said his province was implementing a 25% tariff on electricity exports to 3 U.S. states and threatened to cut off Ontario energy exports to the U.S. After today's meeting, he said the temperature is being lowered and they agreed to more meetings.
We want the best outcome for both countries. We're like a family. And sometimes there's tension between families.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Columbia University graduate Mahmoud Khalil and 7 current students sued the school Thursday in a bid to block it from producing disciplinary records to a House committee. This comes as the university announces sanctions for students involved in pro-Palestinian rallies last spring. Khalil, a graduate student and green card holder, was arrested over the weekend and faces deportation. The suit claims the school's compliance violates the First Amendment and breaches student contracts. Columbia declined to comment on the lawsuit or say how many students were disciplined.
Well, good evening, everyone. Right now, we're at 66 degrees. The winds are gentle, 10 miles an hour out of the southeast. But today was a hot one. We got up to 91 degrees. That ties the record set back in 1928. So it's been a while that we've been this warm this early in the springtime. Our overnight low got down to 60, will be about the same. But we may have some more hot, dry wind blowing, and that's why we're under a fire weather watch. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. We've got fire weather watches all over the state of Texas, okay? We have a little bit of humidity down here, so right now it's not so bad, but we've got some really hot, dry air moving into our area. All of these counties, you can see not only fire weather watch here, a red flag warning rather, fire weather watch here, and up here, high winds throughout West Texas. They're going to be looking at 40 and 50-mile-an-hour winds over the weekend. Now, while we are not, shall we say, in the driest of air, we're not exactly in the mildest of air. Now, notice in this, this is the humidity right now. You can see all this green area. That's where the humid air is. Basically, along the water's edge, you can see we're in the 80 to 90% humidity. In fact, this is so high that we'll probably see a little bit of fog develop by tomorrow morning. So please keep that in mind if you're driving early. But if you go a little bit farther west, look at that, 31% in San Antonio and 16 and 10% out in western areas of the state. That is the dry line, and that sometimes triggers thunderstorms like last night. Tonight it hasn't, and so we're watching it very carefully, because what happened is this dry air rolled toward us, and then it rolled back as the sea breeze took over in the afternoon hours. That's going to happen again today. Here's future winds as we go into 11 o'clock tonight, all coming up out of the south. Okay, so far so good. We go into Friday morning, and you can see things start changing a little bit. We still have the onshore wind and rather mild weather. And here's where the fog is, and then watch this. By the time we get to Saturday, boom, everything changes around right there, and we're going to pick up a brisk, gusty, dry northwest wind, and that is going to put us in the high fire danger. That's what we need to worry about. So here's future visibility for tonight. You can see that we go forward to 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then overnight we'll still probably see a little bit of half-mile visibility by sunrise. Onshore winds definitely ahead of the dry line. Behind it, it's westerly winds that are very hot and dry. The cooler air is still way out there in New Mexico, but by the time it gets here, it's not going to be much cooler. It's only going to drop the temperature maybe 10 degrees, and that's about it. So overnight lows getting down to 64 tonight, with 66 in Houston, 67 down in Corpus Christi. Tomorrow, it's a warm one. We're getting up to 93, 96 in San Antonio, and 103 out in the Laredo area. So your forecast day planner for tomorrow will be looking at a little bit of cloud. I know it has a few showers here, but it should say mist in the morning with the fog. Otherwise, it'll burn off, and then by noon, certainly brilliant sunshine like today, getting up to 82 at the coast. Inland areas getting up to about 90, 91 in Cuero. So yeah, it's going to be hot pretty much all over the place. Now, for tonight, for those of you that are interested, at 10:57, not too far from now, the moon is going to go into its lunar eclipse. It begins with a little slice like this. Totality, when it's completely obscured by the earth, will be at 2 a.m., 1:58, and then by 5 o'clock it's pretty much over, but you'll be asleep, or otherwise you'll be late for work. So we're taking a look at your 7-day forecast, looking at dry weather for tomorrow, high of 93, cool, dry air on Saturday. We have alert for 3 days because of the potential of high fire danger. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Time for Maxwell with sports.
Thanks, Mac. After the break, we're going to highlight who tonight's athlete of the week will be. We'll find out in a few minutes here in sports. All right, good evening here, Crossroads. Today is Thursday, and that means we get to reveal who this week's Athlete of the Week will be. And last week we gave it to Refugio Thur here at Tilly. Well, this week we're heading back to the mound. We're heading it there to the Shiner third baseman, Kaylee Bedeker. Here's more for our Athlete of the Week. For this week's Athlete of the Week, we're hitting the softball field where the Shiner Lady Comanche softball team has been dominant in their past two district games, beating Bloomington 30-0 and Louise 28-0. One of the stars in Tuesday's game was senior Kaylee Bedeker, who had a home run in their 28-0 victory. Bedeker is proud her team put all it together this past Tuesday.
Overall, as a team, we really, put the points on the board and just came out with a win today.
With her leadership qualities being displayed every game she plays, head coach Jason Keller knew she would be a star player for this team and appreciates how she leads by example.
Become more vocal for us this year, obviously being a senior, but she comes to practice, works extremely hard every day, has passion for the game, and is extremely competitive in everything that she does. She is a winner in everything that she does, highly competitive, and just loves to compete.
Now, Bedeker isn't just one of the top power hitters here up at the plate. She's also one of the top defensive players on this team, making some big-time plays at shortstop. She talks about how this team's defensive efficiency has helped carry this team so far.
We do pretty good defense overall. Usually, sometimes we do have our errors or mistakes, but it's usually 1 or 2 times a game. Other than that, we're usually pretty good and clean up the mistakes that we always have.
In all, both Bedeker and Coach Keller want to reach the 2A state championship this season and make the senior class go out with a bang. Wish the Lady Comanches luck, and congrats to Kaylee Bedeker for being this week's Athlete of the Week. All right, now over there to Port Lavaca, where Sand Crab Nation held their annual Sand Crab Relays there. The track invitational had multiple cross-sort teams, including Calhoun, Cuero, Victoria West, Victoria East, and Victoria St. Joseph, and Yoko. To finish off, Calhoun finished there in second place there for the boys in the 4x100. Gregory Portland won first place, followed by Yoakum in third place. Victoria West there getting in fourth place overall. That is the overall standings for girls. Yoakum won first, and Cuero got second place. So congrats to everyone that competed. Again, I'll have all the final team results and individual results from the Sand Crab Relays there on CrossroadsToday.com. Now over there, Industrial Cobra's powerlifting team. They placed first place in the 3A Division II state championship, and they won their first ever state title there for girls powerlifting. Some of the top places were Miley Atlantis taking first place in the 123-pound weight class, Mackenzie Atlantis finishing fifth place there in the 114-pound weight class, and the Cobras also got big production as well from Autumn Callis and Desiree Atlantis getting second place in the 148 and 165-pound weight class. So props up there for the Cobras getting first state and winning the first ever state championship. Now over to some softball action where the St. Joseph Lady Flyers traveled to Hallettsville, faced the Sacred Heart Indians, and Lady Flyers took care of business, winning 8-2. Pitcher Lexi Sanchez threw a complete game in the circle, having 8 strikeouts. Also, Shane Meismer hit a 2-run home run to help the Flyers win there, and they are back in action next Tuesday to begin district play versus St. Anthony. And a couple other things I want to mention in the Houston area. First, the Houston Cougars are advancing to the Big 12 semifinals. They reached BYU. They beat the Colorado Buffaloes earlier today, 77-68. Manuel Sharp led the way with 19 points. And then former Houston Texans long snapper John Weeks is now officially going to be going there to the 49ers after being there for 15 seasons and 238 there games played. And Don, that's crazy to think about, right? Again, for a long snapper, you played that amount of games and now going over a different team. How do you feel about that, maybe going over to the 49ers?
Weeks has been with Houston so long. I think their coach when he started there was Sam Houston. It's been a long time. That's a lot of long snaps, by the way. All right, very good. Thank you, Max, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather, plus a heartwarming reunion for one cat owner after an unbelievable discovery.
Tonight, we've got magic.
Maybe like,
What is wrong with you?
A Montana construction worker is being praised for his heroic actions. Sean Carroll arrived at the scene of an accident where a vehicle went over an embankment and landed on its side. Carroll stabilized the car with his truck's tow strap to keep it from falling further down the embankment. The Big Sky Fire Department then arrived and rescued the 2 people who were trapped inside. March's full moon is called the worm moon, and it's extra special because it will be a total lunar eclipse, the first in nearly 3 years to be visible across the USA. Tonight, the moon will look like a striking red color. A total eclipse happens when the moon is full and aligns perfectly with the Earth and Sun. Now, unlike a total solar eclipse, this celestial event does not require special eyewear. And that's why, after I said all that, that's why they call this a blood moon. So the moon will look a bit like, yes, because the sun's in the way.
So really amazing when you think about it, that the Earth gets right in front of the moon, right? And it's just perfectly the same size.
Yeah.
I mean, who figured that out?
Like brothers.
Right? Amazing. Well, it starts at about 30 minutes. You'll see partial lunar eclipse, and then totality is at 2 a.m. if you're going to stay up that late. By 3 or 4, by 4 o'clock it'll be over, but if you happen to be up, it'll look reddish. Now, if you're at the coast, may not have the time because of the fog.
Oh,
if you're inland, everybody's going to be in good shape. I mean, if you're on this side of Victoria, you'll be fine. We're looking at another hot day coming up tomorrow at 93, and then we continue with the red flag warnings through Saturday and Sunday because of a dry northwest wind that'll bring us back more dust from Lubbock.
Oh, yeah, we need that.
We saw that, remember?
That's right.
I just washed my car.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good weekend to wash the car, too.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, a perfect moment, a happy moment this cat owner never thought she'd have. She reunited with her Maine Coon, Aggie, at a West Los Angeles animal shelter over the weekend. Aggie was missing for 2 months following the Palisades wildfire. Her family thought she had died until they received a call from Animal Services telling them Aggie had been found near her home. She had survived the ashes and ruins. While Aggie needed some specialized care, she is set to return home on Thursday. Whoa, that could have been a catastrophe, but the cat is back home after all those wildfires.
You're going to have to change her name. I mean, Aggie's a cool name, but she's a survivor.
Yes, said a UT graduate. All right, thank you, Mac. Thanks for joining us. Join 25 News Now Sunrise, Carolina, Parker, 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.